Hello and welcome to another edition of Kaleidoscope on Channels Television. Thank you so much for joining us on the program. I'm Anne Nwawadu. On the program today, we have a chat with the Associate Director, Head Business Development for one of the leading pension fund administrators in Nigeria, ARM Pension Managers Limited, Moronke Bamgbala, on the financial institution's efforts at encouraging development in various sectors in Nigeria. Once again, welcome to Kaleidoscope. ARM Pension Managers Limited has been in business since 2005. Let's find out more about the organization. ARM Pension Managers Limited is one of the first 7 pension fund administrators granted license by the National Pension Commission in December 2005. It is part of the Asset and Resource Management Company Limited Group, one of Nigeria's most prominent and respected financial service brands, with a reputation in investment management, research and pension fund management. With a vision to be the fastest growing, most efficient and customer-friendly PFA in Nigeria, consistently delivering value to customers and a mission to provide a better future for customers by offering superior service and value and upholding high standards of professionalism. ARM Pension Managers Limited provide its clients with the most fulfilling and rewarding investment experience in pension management and administration and has a very successful track record of protecting and growing investment for individuals and organizations across all socio-economic segments. The organization's competitive advantage lies in its ability to ensure that technological advancement and processes are driven by a customer-centric approach. ARM Pension Managers Limited is in the business of making tomorrow better today for its clients, stakeholders, and communities around. ARM Pension is one of the first 7 pension fund administrators licensed by the National Pension Commission back in 2005. How would you describe the journey so far?
Economic side of things, and from ARM point of view, I'm sure you know the stories we hear and see on TV about pensions, and coming into that space in 2005 wasn't as easy as we would have expected, because people were agitated given their experience in the old pension scheme. However, I think that we had an impressive, we've had an impressive journey thus far, and it's been, especially from the people point of view, citizens of Nigeria, adoption has been encouraging. I remember when we had the first clients in the industry and the first check, and I was having this conversation with a colleague, I think sometimes last week, and it was like maybe we should have framed our first check, and our first client. And today, we have an industry that controls about 8 to 9% of Nigerian GDP. We have about 12 trillion in assets under management. And the number keeps growing. Total contributors as a date is about 10 million. So if I were to describe it from the economic point of view, I think that we have done well for ourselves. And for ARM, it gave us an opportunity to impact, really, because it created more jobs for operators. It gave us that platform, to realize our ambition, our vision for Nigeria as a country. So today, as one of the top 3 pension funds in Nigeria, I would say that it's been very good for us. It's been a journey, and we're happy, with where we are currently.
So talking about pensions, how well do you think Nigerians have come to embrace this industry with the many challenges a lot of people talk about, and what can actually be done better?
I think that given our peculiarities in Nigeria, and given where we are today, I would say that we've had a reasonable level of adoption. Nigerians have come to embrace it, not initially though, because we had that, agitation from contributors, especially from the private sector, whereby, they were not very confident in the scheme that we were bringing to the market, given what had happened with the old pension scheme. And, but with time and with a lot of awareness, we began to see trust in the system. Regulation was also very, critical. It helped the industry because regulation was, all the way protecting the contributors. In terms of what we can do better, I think that it's important that we continue to evolve. The labor force today has close to about 60 million, either, working full-time or part-time, either in the organized or unorganized sector. And today in the industry, we've done just about 10 million, which means that there is a lot that needs to be done. And for us to get there, just few things that we need to do. We need to, make that process more efficient. It's a pension administration function. And the more we reduce the number of days required, the more we create access to pension benefits, the more it becomes attractive for contributors. I think that what is also very important, given what we have, seen, given the research, we keep talking to people, trying to know what, they want and need for their pensions and retirement. It's important that as an industry, we begin to think of how to bundle products with pensions. We begin to think of how are we able to bring in mortgage, for example, into pensions, how are we able to tie in insurance, healthcare, providing a platform that provides a holistic approach, to pension management. As an asset management business in ARM, I guess that we're a diversified business, and in Nigeria you have a lot of people, a lot of businesses that have the expertise, and I'm very sure that if we put our hearts to it, we focus on it, all of these things, and we get them right, we would improve significantly. And that 50 million, that deficit that we think we have, in no time, we bring them on board the industry.
Improving your business means more money will come in to help support people and, of course, develop the country. Tell us those areas you pay attention to when it comes to corporate social responsibility.
At ARM, we're a fan of, that saying, doing good is good business. And we sort of look at CSR from another perspective, from a broader perspective, and as much as possible, align it to our key objectives, to what we stand for and what we want people to know us for. And that basically is to ensure that we create a better future. Everywhere we exist, we want to create a better future to all the stakeholders. Stakeholders meaning our customers, our employees, our communities, our shareholders. And the way we have done this is that we have categorized our initiatives into 4 categories, 4 distinct categories. You have initiatives in terms of improving healthy living. You have initiatives in terms of education and youth empowerment. We have initiatives that specifically focus on public health. And I can go on and on. However, I'll just share a few of those initiatives that we have done and we're currently supporting. I'm sure you heard about the ARM Run for the Future. This is an annual event. We've been having this event for about 10 years now, and it's sort of become a household name. And we just make sure that you walk or you run a 5 to 8 kilometer once a year, just to create awareness. It's very difficult for you to separate pensions business from health. So we see that, we think that we have a responsibility in that area. So we sort of create awareness and educate people, not necessarily just our clients, our community, about the Run for the Future, whereby we have thousands of participants come into Lagos. We also hold this, at some states in the country. And, we feel that that has sort of improved, the healthy living of, most of these people, because we continue to reach out to them and continue to give them tips on how they can improve their health. I think similar to that is something that we did very recently. Of course, we couldn't do Run for the Future last year because of the pandemic. And but we did something, that I particularly, appreciate. We partnered with the Lagos State government to overhaul the Onikon General Hospital, especially the outpatient segment, the COVID outpatient segment of the hospital. It was in a very bad shape when we got in, and we had to renovate the hospital all over. We didn't just do that. We also provided medical and laboratory equipment for the hospital. These are state-of-the-art equipment, and of course we continue to maintain those equipment. That was particularly touching because we felt that it was just a little way of supporting the government in that exercise, and the urgency that is required at that point. In terms of education and youth empowerment, I must say that we're very, very involved in this. We're deeply involved because we believe in one thing, that we have to build and invest, in the generation of our next leaders. And how do we do that? We have different programs. We have what we call the AYTP, ARM Young Talent Program, whereby we seek applications from universities all over the world, and we ask them to come into ARM as the ARM group and explore, so that they have a practical experience of a corporate environment, so they're then able to figure out what they want in life. They're not just in the four corners of the university. So they come stay with us for a few months. They have specific projects that they must deliver before they leave, and they are attached to mentors. Mentors that go beyond, their months with ARM. So they're constantly guided until, they leave school and they're able to get into the labor market. Another very, close initiative is what this is actually fashioned after is named after the visionary of ARM, Deji Ali, and we call it the Deji Ali Young Talent Award data. And what that does really, it goes a little bit ahead of the undergraduates, and tend to encourage young adults. You've left school, you have ideas, and you're struggling as to how you want to realize those ideas and ambitions that you have. So we bring them in, make presentations for weeks, develop your business plan, speak to a panel of judges, experienced judges, and based on how the panel is, convinced, you are chosen. So for the winning plans, the winning business plans, ARM supports them in setting up that business, and also making sure that that business succeeds. We've done that for a couple of years as well. We do a lot of things in education, and we also reach out to public schools in Nigeria, whereby we refurbish libraries, we get computers for them, we support them even in terms of taking classes, and this has been consistent. We provide education supplies, school supplies, each time there's a new term and the children are going back to school. And from time to time, we go to, just to sort of create that awareness and pay attention to that sector, that very important sector in our economy. I guess a critical area that we believe in, you can't be in the financial sector and you don't pay attention to financial literacy. That's another area that is important for us. It's what we do basically in that area is that we support students, university students, by providing them platforms that exposes them to resources that are required. We have clubs whereby they belong to, and we're able to reach them, and motivate them and expose them to financial terms, to technicalities in the finance world. And we have a particular program, that also ensure that we are just engaging. So it's not a one-way approach, and we call that the ARM Engage. We bring them together. It's they look forward to it every year. Bring them together and talk about strategic things, talk about real life experiences, how they are able to, especially in Nigeria, it's not like you have an organized environment sort of. So we come and, bridge that gap and speak to them strategically, help them in in their thought process and what they need to do, as they grow in life.
And when we return in just a moment on the program, we'll hear more about the activities of ARM Pension Managers Limited. Please stay with us. ARM seems to be very passionate or keen on technology. Why the interest in tech?
I think for us at ARM, technology is one of those pillars that we don't joke with. And you're correct, yes, we're very passionate about technology. And we've made, massive investment in technology, both within ARM and outside of ARM. We support technology, that's also one of our CSR activities, whereby we identify, young, upcoming visionaries in technology, and we, rather than go outside of the country, we rather use this indigenous guys in whatever it is that we're doing, just to encourage the system because of what we believe. And as a customer-centric organization, that we're seeking to be, aspiring to be on a daily basis, it's important that we provide the right customer experience. We're not able to do this without technology, enabling the system. And I'll tell you a short story. When we had the lockdown sometimes last year, I'm sure that you're aware that a lot of organizations struggled, to get by. And immediately, within days, everybody in ARM, we have a staff strength of over 1,000. We were able to work from home. That was because we had, we were ready. Nobody was expecting the pandemic, but because of that passion, because of the investment that we have made in technology, it's provided a platform for us to just switch, and we started work. It will interest you to know that that was the month, that we interacted most with our clients, even though we were working from home. That was the month that we saw, our numbers move up. So you would agree with me that technology is not something you joke with. We're pension fund administrators, and it's important that for us to have a seamless experience, for our customers to have a seamless experience, we need that enabling infrastructure to make sure that anywhere they are in the world, they are able to access us.
And are there plans to look into other sectors in CSR in the future?
Absolutely, and I guess that is currently ongoing. So we're currently in education, we're currently in youth empowerment, we're in public health, we're also in infrastructure, and we're going to do more in infrastructure. We're very much involved in the Lekki-Ekpe Expressway, which is like a 50-kilometer expressway. So it's a PPP initiative. We would continue to look at infrastructure. ARM, as we're well positioned really to support every area of every sector in Nigeria, and I'll tell you why. So we're a diversified business, asset management business. We have investment, we have real estate, we have trustees, whereby we're able to partner with you from cradle to grave. right from, when you are young up until, you pass on your asset to the next generation. So it is important that we take advantage of how we are structured as a group, even to touch, our communities and to make impact in our communities. So we continue to look at the energy sector, for example. What are we going to do with energy sector? We are partnered with Azure. We'll continue to look at that. So there's this area that we're also very interested in. As a matter of fact, we have begun work in this area, and that's the ESG, environmental, social, and corporate governance. It's an area that we feel that we're able to impact, our society by the way we work, how we work, and what we do in our little space. And individual businesses have sort of started including that in how we are structured. But we think that it is a big thing, and we think that we should be doing more. We're going to be responsible when it comes to our environment, which is where again technology comes to play. Corporate governance is critical for a business that is as big as ours. We'll continue to create awareness, and we'll continue to expand into the social environment where we feel that we are able to support not just our people but our community.
And what is the future of the pension industry in Nigeria, and how is ARM Pension positioned to make the best of this?
Speaking in terms of how do we see the future of our industry, I think that there's a lot that still needs to be done. There's a lot that can be done. Clearly, there's a deficit in terms of adoption, and we need to do a lot of enlightenment, a lot of awareness to ensure that people, the trust in the industry and the scheme continue to improve. And how are we able to do that as an industry? It's important, that we expand the array of pensions products. It's important that we begin to look at pensions from a holistic point of view. It's not just because, I'm contributing. You have to look at it from your personal objectives. How do you want your retirement time to look like? What sort of lifestyle, do you want to have? Are you ready? Have you created that sort of lifestyle? So we need to sort of not look at pensions in isolation, but look at pensions from the perspective of meeting objectives, meeting personal and group objectives, business objectives. Enlightenment is key. However, as an industry, we also need to support with education. We need to support with infrastructure. We need to support with the needs of the people. For the unorganized sector, for example, that there's a deficit in housing. That there's a deficit in health. There's a deficit in insurance. How are we able to attract, this sector to come to believe, in pensions? Of course, this is a tax for not just the private sector. Both the government and the private sector needs to come together, to make this happen. And today, our contribution to the GDP is just about 8 or 9%. I see the future, of the industry contributing double digits, like 20 to 30% in the near future. Pension funds used for huge infrastructural projects to develop the country. How are we positioned in ARM? I think that it's important, to be a visionary in when you talk about issues like this, and that is who we are. Currently, we have the MD of ARM Pensions, who is the president of the Pension Funds Operators Association, and we have been using, that opportunity to make an impact in the industry. I don't think that we would have done justice to this session if I don't speak to, the people who are not yet on board the pension scheme, because, they are the future. Frankly, if you are not, a part of the scheme, I must say that you're doing yourself a disservice. And, there's no point working for 10, 20, 30 years, and there is no structured approach to how you want your old age, to look like. Your hard-earned money, needs to be used judiciously, so you're able to, let your money work for you in retirement. It's very unfair, to yourself, if at the end of the day, after working so hard, and you're not able to sustain your lifestyle. I think that is what we represent in ARM. I want to encourage everyone, if you are not, on board the scheme, see us as your partners. We partner with you to understand what your objectives are, and we will make sure that those objectives are met.
And that's the program today. This is where we draw the curtains on Kaleidoscope. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget, go to youtube.com/channelsweb to find various editions of the program and past editions where you can watch and watch again. Also, let's get your feedback. Please keep them coming. Thanks a lot for watching. I'll see you again soon. Stay safe. I'm Anne Nwawadu.